There are words resting on the edge of your tongue that never make it out. They tremble there, quiet, scared, waiting to be seen, but you swallow them back as if they might burn the air around you. You tell yourself it is easier this way. That silence cannot be misunderstood. That staying quiet keeps the peace, even if it means you are the one breaking inside it. If this already feels familiar, stay here a little longer. Let these words sit beside you, softly. You do not have to defend your silence here. Subscribe and keep this safe space close. Your heart deserves quiet understanding, not another reason to hide. You know that moment, when you want to say something honest, but your throat tightens instead? It is not that you do not have the words. You do. They line up perfectly in your mind, each one carrying truth, courage, and ache. But as you open your mouth, the weight of past reactions presses against your chest. You remember every time honesty turned into distance, every time vulnerability was met with confusion, every time your truth made someone else uncomfortable. So you stay quiet. And in that quiet, you tell yourself it is okay, that silence is strength, that calm is better than confrontation. Yet deep down, the quiet is not peace. It is self-protection wearing a soft disguise. You move through your days with careful steps. You choose words that feel safe, smiles that do not invite questions, and answers that end conversations before they can touch your heart. People call you calm, easy, mature. They do not know how much effort it takes to appear unbothered. They do not see the way your thoughts circle endlessly after every interaction, wondering if you said too much, or too little, or nothing at all. You replay the same moments in your head, like picking at a wound that will not close. And sometimes, when the world is quiet, you wish someone would ask the right question, the one that would make you feel safe enough to finally answer honestly. But no one does. So you learn to carry your truth like a secret diary, one only you can read. You write it in your mind while pretending you are fine. You whisper it into your pillow instead of someone's arms. And you call that strength, because what else can you call a silence that keeps you alive? Inside, though, there is a war you never admit. A longing to be seen and a fear of being misunderstood. You crave to be known, but only if it is safe. You want to speak, but only if it will not break anything. And when those two needs collide, silence wins. Every time. Because silence never abandons you mid-sentence. It never twists your meaning, never asks you to explain your pain more softly. Silence lets you exist without risk. Yet that safety costs something sacred. It costs the sound of your own truth. It costs the warmth of being known. And sometimes, it costs the love that could have stayed, if only someone had understood you fully. You start believing your emotions are too heavy for others. You start editing yourself before you even speak. You hide your depth behind light laughter, because honesty has always come with consequences. Maybe once, when you were younger, you tried to speak, and someone dismissed it. They told you to calm down, to stop being dramatic, to not make things bigger than they are. That was the moment your heart learned to whisper instead of speak. It decided that silence was safer than rejection. And ever since, every truth has carried that echo. Do not say too much. They will not understand. You learn to protect your softness with distance, to measure your words like they might explode if spoken too freely. And though people think you are quiet because you are calm, you know it is not calmness, it is caution. You are always listening, always reading the room, always gauging if it is safe to exist fully. Because when love has felt conditional, truth feels dangerous. But somewhere deep within you, the truth still wants to breathe. It waits, patient, aching, for the day it can exist without fear. Because your silence was never weakness. It was survival. You were not avoiding truth. You were avoiding pain. You were not hiding yourself. You were trying to stay safe. And maybe that safety is no longer what you need. Maybe your silence, once a shield, has turned into a cage. Because every time you silence yourself, you teach your heart to believe it is too much. Every time you hold your breath instead of speaking, Your body remembers that truth equals danger. And every time you call it peace, your soul quietly disagrees. There is a deeper truth beneath your silence. It is the story of a woman who learned too early that honesty could hurt, that truth could push people away, that being understood was a luxury, not a guarantee. So she built her safety in quietness, her confidence in restraint, her identity in being easy to love. And though that silence protected her once, it now keeps her lonely, because silence cannot hold you the way truth can. Silence cannot heal you, only delay the moment you finally feel. Your truth is not too heavy, it is simply waiting for the right hands to hold it. And maybe, for now, those hands are your own. There is peace in speaking softly to yourself first, in saying out loud the things you were taught to hide, in realizing that your truth deserves to exist, even if no one applauds it, even if your voice trembles, even if it makes the air feel fragile. The shift begins quietly, not in grand speeches, but in tiny permissions. You let yourself say, "I am hurt," without apologizing. You let yourself need, without guilt. You let yourself exist beyond being pleasing. And the silence, once so comforting, begins to feel less like safety and more like distance. Because peace is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of understanding. Slowly, you begin to trust your own voice again. You speak in small moments, to the mirror, to the page, to your reflection in a dark window. And each time, the world does not collapse. The sky stays intact. The room stays soft. You realize that safety was never about silence. It was about knowing you would not abandon yourself when you spoke. You start choosing honesty over harmony. Not because you enjoy confrontation, but because peace built on suppression never lasts. And when you finally speak, really speak, you feel something return. It is not applause or validation. It is the quiet relief of coming home to yourself. There will still be days when silence tempts you, when it feels easier to hide behind calmness than to risk being misunderstood.
And that is okay.
Healing does not mean you never stay quiet again. It means you know why you are quiet, and that reason is no longer fear. Your voice is not a weapon. It is a bridge. It connects you back to yourself. And when you begin to use it, softly, tenderly, the world around you starts to feel different. You realize that speaking your truth is not about being heard by others. It is about hearing yourself. You do not need to be loud. You do not need to be fearless. You just need to be honest in the way that feels safe for you. Because every time you speak your truth, you teach your heart that it is safe to exist. And every time you let yourself be known, you remind your soul it was never too much, only waiting to be understood.
You can rest now.
You can breathe in your own voice, even if it still trembles. You can trust that the right people will meet your truth with softness. And even if they do not, you will still have yourself, and that is enough. Because silence kept you safe once, but truth will set you free. And freedom, even when it is quiet, is still louder than fear. So when your throat tightens again, when the words hesitate, remember this: your truth deserves air. It deserves to live outside your mind. You deserve to be heard by your own heart. You are not fragile for wanting to speak. You are human. You are healing. And your silence was never a weakness. It was your first language of survival. Now it is time to learn the language of truth. Your voice does not need permission. It only needs your courage to whisper, "I am ready." And when you do, even the silence will listen. You were never quiet because you had nothing to say. You were quiet because no one felt safe enough to hear you. Now let yourself listen.